I wanted to say that I'm done. I wanted to say that this is over. But to start off, I'm Ramirez, as usual. Wanted to end it, but I can't. Can't. Because I didn't say that the past affected the present. Our present day problems are because there were past decisions that were made that largely shaped our culture. If we want to get to the bottom of the drug epidemic, well, let's look to the past. Where did it start? If we want to look at how men have ended up weaker, where did that start? If we look at all of our modern day problems that we have now, all of them, they all started somewhere. Something affected every single decision that led us to where we are today. And people want to just leave it as conspiracy theories or this or that. No. Now we have enough empirical data. We have 15 years worth of data to look at, and we could dissect how these markers came to be. And they were all from past decisions that were made. This is why I largely always pull it all the way back to the crack epidemic, Freeway Rick Ross, and the Iran-Contra scandal. Because that was a clear, deliberate move by people who were in government positions, by people who lived and rubbed shoulders with other DOD officials, with other Pentagon officials. There was a interconnected web of decisions that were made in order for us to be the way we are now. And if that wasn't true, then why would they spend millions and billions shaping our movies the way they did, shaping our music the way it is, and facilitating all of these things to be this way? Like, one of the biggest things that I never understood was how is the areas around Washington, D.C. the way they are when Washington, D.C. is what it is. And largely by design, in my opinion. But I wanted to show the ending clip of this Waka Flocka scene, because I didn't actually show it.
That's weird, right? Yeah, that's...
You vote for Donald Trump?
Who vote? Nah, why would I vote? A vote ain't nothing. No, shut up, Walker.
Nope, shut up, Waka. Careful. And look at what he says at the end.
There you go. Yeah, I vote, man.
Yeah, I vote, man. Why did he stop himself? Right? What was he about to say that he knew he couldn't say? Well, this is actually going to take me a little bit, because I need to figure out how I'm even going to pull up this video. VLC source. No, where is it? Let's go with the media source. Browse my file systems. I have like videos saved, and I don't want to feel like pulling this up. Local file loop.
If they're paying you that much money, like, you gotta do what they tell you. You know what I mean? Like, you have a little bit of freedom for artistic freedom, if that. But then when you step out of line with the political stuff and like you start waking up and they see that, oh shit, they're coming to whack your ass, fucking knock you over, like pump you up with some fucking pills and like reprogram your brain, because it's like, oh shit, his MK Ultra is breaking down, he's starting to speak the truth, and he has like a huge following. So they don't want someone like Kanye to, like, with that much influence, to start waking up the masses. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can talk about this shit because I'm not in that world anymore. I don't have any contracts. I'm not I'm not obligated to fucking do shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm free.
Okay, I for whatever reason I can't hear it, but I'm pretty sure you guys can, because I could see the media source being played. But I loosely remember what she said in this video, so excuse me if I don't verbatim say what she said. So I'd actually have to open it up for myself and listen to it.
If they're paying you that much money...
Okay, yeah, now I remember. Think about it. You think the people at the top who have kept control of all of the wealth, who kept control of even millions of dollars that get let out into the public, you think they aren't going to try to stop you? You think they're not going to try to control the message you say, the things you do? It's why, like, nope, Waka, shut up. Because he knows that it puts his career at jeopardy. He knows if he talks about how our votes, our suggestions, if he talks about the Electoral College, if he even mentions any of these little truth bits that happen, you get entire ramifications levied against you. Kind of want to turn off my filter. Do I really want to turn off my filter? Nah, let's show that P video, actually. I want to finish that. Where is it? Beam, beam, beam.
And I got facts to back it up, and I got all kinds of shit to back it up. You know what I mean? And anybody who don't support Doc, and whoever don't support the movement that Prodigy's on, then fuck you, nigga. You know what I'm saying? And straight like that, I wish nothing but good and success for you, son. You know what I'm saying? Because straight like that, man, if you ain't supporting me, then you're not supporting your own people and you don't give a fuck about yourself. Because all I'm talking about is something positive, something good, how to fucking teach the kids. You know what I mean? Straight like that, I'm on some real bullshit, nigga. I'm on my shit, nigga. How I should have been back in the early 90s. But it's never too late. And I guess back then I couldn't articulate myself the right way. You know what I'm saying? But now,
And you know, I felt that way too. There were so many things that I knew back in I had a lot of interesting discussions during my college years where, right, when I questioned that Israeli kid, I'm like, when he's all like, do you support Israel? I remember being like, no, I don't. I don't support anybody killing each other. And I do not support the territorial grab of anybody. I still remember how quickly his face went from being like to just angry at me. And then I had to avoid him because he was a raging alcoholic, and then I had to avoid him for a very long time because anytime you caught that guy drunk and he classified you an enemy, let's just say it was not an easy thing to deal with.
now I can't. It's a whole different world right now. You know what I'm saying? And now.
Okay, yeah, I think that's it. I should just end it there with that. Because it gets me mad. It gets me so mad because it's just like, this has all been figured out. Everybody knows the truth now. Everybody knows and can quantify where all of these fucking problems started. And I guess what really gets me mad is the fact that I've lost friends to this culture war. And when I say I lost friends, I legit mean I lost friends on both sides of the aisle. Left, right, everywhere. Because they were caught up in that bullshit. They were caught up in the psyop between the media, not Instagram, but social media. There was a clear attempt by forces that be to shape people's thoughts, to break people's families. All for what? Profit? At this point in time, it's all to maintain control over this government. And that's what really ticks me off, is that people aren't willing to understand that right now we're at a very pivotal moment where things can change and move forward. But, you know what I mean? I have hope. I have hope for the future. I think I'm just getting caught up in all of these emotions of just, it's kind of why I don't, because if anybody knows me in real life and they get me talking about this, I will not shut the fuck up. I'll keep fucking going. Especially when somebody's egging me on and being like, well, that's not how this was and that's not how that is. It's just like, no. The complexities of all these things just, it irks me, dude. It irks me so. I guess the part that irks me the most is I had my my ginger best friend, and how, to some degree, right, he's my best friend, but I considered him my opposite. If I was on one side of the spectrum, he was on the other side of the spectrum. And to see him feed into this white nationalism, white wingnut bullshit, and to see him feed his own self-biases to himself just so that he could explain that the world is burning. It's not my fault. I didn't do anything. My people did nothing. And it's just like, you know what I mean? All right. Because the same devices that you used against the minorities are the same devices now being used against your own fucking people, dog. Straight up. It's the way I see it. It's why I always say, if anybody is acting like a malignant tumor, right? If there's anything inside of this ecosystem that has confused people and has confused them so much that they have started killing themselves, like, bro, you're a malignant tumor. Like, you're dead ass that misfolded gene protein that is causing the rest of the DNA sequence to get corrupted to become a cancer cell, to become malignant. You are literally killing the host body. All because you're the educated one. You're the institution. You're the face of this fucking system. And if anybody feeds into this paradigm, into this worldview, who is it? It's the people in control of the education system. And by and large, who is that? What demographic is that? And people are going to be like, oh, that's the tiny hats, man. Shut the fuck up. Those dudes are so caught up in paranoia that's genetically embedded into them. I really doubt they would have the mental fortitude to be able to make up a plan or a series of events that gets them what they want. Do you forget they were the ones that fucked up the whole operation on 9/11? You realize they were the dumb idiots that were in a parking lot? Yeah, man, we did it. We're the best. And they were the ones that got caught? Only for what? For them to brag about it on national television in Israel? Think, fool. Think. This was multi-layered. It wasn't just one place. It wasn't just one nation. These people have no allegiance to anybody. Like, and then to see all the white evangelicals be like, Zionism is so great. It's like, shut the fuck up. I know that Zion, the word, is used to describe God and all that other stuff, but you can miss me with that. Like, that ass. I've read past iterations of the Bible. You're not going to confuse me. Like, at all. 11 minutes. Should probably end this right now. But just, please remember that the disconnect is the fact that people today don't want to look at the past and be like, oh, that's what happened. That's what happened. And that's how we're here. That's how all of these problems were created. Maybe I shouldn't trust the government. Maybe I shouldn't give my blind faith to these false talking heads that put themselves in front of me and tell me that they're here to fight for my plight. Malcolm X was the first one. This is why I learn from everybody. It's the fact that I didn't have a dad, but from a very early age, I learned that not everybody is equal in terms of what they know. You have to learn what you can from where you can get it. So I have lessons that I've learned from my dad, that I've learned from my mom, that I've learned from my dad's best friend, Jojo, that I've learned from all of these different male figures that I encountered in my life. I've taken pieces of what they have given me and I've learned on them. I've built on top of that. And it's only built a firm foundation, realistically, because if I were to build my foundation on whatever the system was teaching me, I'd probably be a fucking faggot. Like, dead ass. I'd probably be some effeminate ass guy. And the way I see it now is I spent a whole portion of my life. I spent all of my early 20s being that way, being a nice guy, being somebody that you could step all over on. All for what? Because I was perceiving myself a part of a very specific part of a culture that I thought I had to act this way. Only for me to figure out that form of acting was killing me on the inside, was allowing me to create this victim state mentality that didn't allow me to propel myself forward. And that's everyone. That's not just me. There are a whole bunch of kids from the inner city who feel just the same way I do. But nobody's giving them a guiding hand. The only guiding hand they're getting is to go fucking buy some drugs, to fucking dope themselves up, to forget the fucking reality that we're living in. And that's one aspect of reality. In reality, the biggest demographic of escapism is playing video games, is finding these other mechanisms of online activity that distract you from the shitty conditions of your life. I'm not saying video games are bad, but it's worthwhile to understand these issues that we have developing in front of us. And I think it's important to understand that. I think it's important to understand that the things that have destroyed us up until this point are all considered conspiracy theories. Suggestive thinking, MK Ultra programming, the clear and deliberate actions of controlling financial mechanisms, the complete interest in controlling people of special interest because they have too much capital, they have too much influence, they have too much reach. All of these things matter, but yet for whatever reason, the educated ones, the institutions, the people that are vested that we should trust, tell us otherwise. That should be a fucking red flag, dead ass. But no, for whatever reason, people are like, I should trust Dr. Fauci. I should trust Biden. I should trust Obama. I should trust Trump. Like, to some degree, like, you have to realize that even if some of these talking heads are good people, the people that will put their message forward, the people that will then project this lie over these people, that's called the character assassination. It's why P's like, I'm not afraid to mention people like Dr. York. Because at the end of the day, they can assassinate your character. They can completely change the perception of what people think on certain people. And even if they can't do that, and even if they can't get rid of you in normal means, guess what they do? They make you disappear from the headlines. They make you disappear from the purview of people's minds. And out of sight, out of mind. And yet, that's a real tactic. But the people who defend the system won't even want to educate themselves on these tactics. And that blows my mind. That's why I get so fucking angry. I get angry because I remind myself as a kid, it was very optimistic of me, but I always remember saying to myself, like, man, I wish I could be friends with everybody. I wish I could get to know everybody. I wish I could just be that sort of character. I could just talk to anybody, get to know them, get to see what they're about. But in reality, no. People are caught up in their own programming. People are caught up in their own distrust of others, all because of what? Society has largely shaped us that way. Like, I'm kind of cleaning out certain parts of my old book collection, and I found an old ass book that I remember to this day. It's called The Bluest Eye. And I just remember thinking to myself, wow, the propaganda runs this fucking deep, dude. That, like, the literature that gets put in front of us, the ideas that get put in front of us, these are all just suggestions. They aren't really ours. Either way, I'll end it here.